Hi, and welcome back to the Think Long and Hard channel. We are going through Randy Fujishin's Gifts from the Heart. And gift number 5 is asking questions. As you'll recall, gift number 4 was listening for understanding. And one of the things that it said that I liked the most was listening can change a person. Which is awesome. Went over the 4-step process of listening, the types of listening. And then gift 5 or chapter 5 is asking questions. It starts with a quote from Alfred Adler. One question can change the course of a discussion and a life. The giant expanse of the Canadian Plains stretched before us like a vast ocean, revealing the curvature of the earth. Our boys were asleep in the back seat of the car as I followed this nameless 2-lane road in southern Saskatchewan on a warm July afternoon. There wasn't a house to be seen in the rolling sea of wheat fields far from our home in the coastal foothills of California. My wife's eyes were beginning to close as I listened to the dull hum of the tires on the pavement. Vicky wasn't asleep because I heard her ask, "What are you thinking about? You look worried." "No," I smiled. "But you look worried," she repeated. "Maybe. I guess I'm still thinking about an argument with Tom," I admitted. Tom is a colleague of mine at the college where I teach. Before leaving for summer vacation, Tom and I had a disagreement about a departmental policy. We both said some strong words, and I was still troubled by the incident. "Still upset?" Vicky asked. "Yeah. I feel uncomfortable about having to see him in the fall." "Oh, I see. Just wouldn't know what to say?" "I hope he apologizes. Then it would be okay." "And if he doesn't?" Vicky inquired. "Well, I could invite him to lunch before classes start, or maybe just leave him a phone message." "Anything else?" "I thought about dropping him and Fran a postcard from Winnipeg." "Sounds like you've given this some thought. Which do you like best?" "The postcard. I can at least apologize for my small part of the argument." I smiled. 4 days later, I sent Tom and Fran a postcard from Winnipeg. It had a beautiful picture of the vast plains of Canada. Before Vicky and I were married, we attended 4 premarital counseling sessions. I don't remember much of what was said during those 4 hours, but I do recall one remark the counselor directed at me. "Your partner should provide you with good counsel," she said. "Does that mean Vicky should always know what to do?" I asked. "No," she replied. "Your wife should let you solve your own problems. Her counsel, like yours, should provide clarity and encouragement for you to see your own solutions. The best way to achieve this is by asking questions, not by giving your own solutions. You'll need to develop the art of asking one another questions. When you give the gift of asking questions of loved ones, you are focusing your attention on them, not on you. You provide an invitation for them to open up, to share, and ultimately to connect with you. Your questions can provide a safe place for them to see themselves, to help them explore and examine their own thoughts and feelings, and not merely reflect them as you do when actively listen for content or feelings. Your questions can help them acknowledge, explore, and solve their own problems. Asking questions of a loved one can be a helpful and enlightening gift if you ask the right questions. Asking the right questions. Asking the right kinds of questions is vital to encouraging dialogue and connection in loving relationships. Questions can direct, evoke, and encourage the speaker to clarify, focus, and explore. Let's look at 4 categories of questions: closed, open, probing, and loaded. Closed questions. Closed questions can be answered in a word or two. They don't really encourage the speaker to develop, expand, or explore the topic. Instead, they focus, limit, and highlight. Here are some examples of closed questions and possible answers. Do you feel excited? Yes, no, maybe. Were you thinking about calling him? Yes, no, maybe. Are you right or wrong? Right, wrong. Did she talk to him pleasantly? Yes, no, none of your business. Do you mean you want to stay in the relationship? Yes, no, maybe. Closed questions require the speaker to focus attention on a specific inquiry and respond briefly. The purpose of closed questions is not to develop and explore, but rather to focus and specify. Open questions. Unlike closed questions, open questions encourage the speaker to develop, expand, and explore a topic in greater detail and depth. Open questions usually begin with the words why, what, and how, or contain the words explain and describe within them. Here are some examples of open questions. Why are you excited? Why were you thinking about calling him? What makes you feel you're right in this matter? How did she talk to him? Can you explain your reasons for wanting to stay in the relationship? Notice that these open questions correspond to the closed questions above. Do you see how the reworded open questions encourage more depth and detail from the speaker than do the closed questions? Both open and closed questions are useful to help a loved one solve a problem. Probing questions. After the speaker begins to explore a topic, you can assist her by asking probing questions. Probing questions are open and closed questions that are directly related to the preceding statement in a conversation. The aim of a probing question is to further encourage the speaker to explain, expand, and develop a thought, idea, or feeling. Remember that probing questions are intended for the benefit of the speaker's examination and development of a topic, not for your own curiosity or personal interest. Notice in the beginning story how my wife asked many closed and open probing questions that helped me examine my predicament with my colleague. Here are 2 brief dialogues to help you get the feel of opened and closed probing questions. Tia, I think we should do something special for our anniversary. Greg, like what, honey? Open probe. Tia, we could go to a nice restaurant. Greg, what kind of food would you like? Open probing question. Bart, I'm not feeling good about my life. Kara, what part of your life? Open probe. Bart, oh, my job. Kara, how is your job not meeting your expectations? Open probe. Bart, I haven't advanced like I thought I would. I thought I'd be in management by now. Kara, so promotions haven't come as you expected? Closed probe. Bart, yeah, I'm always passed by when there's a management opening. Kara, what do you want to do about this? Open probe. Did you notice in the second example how Kara didn't evaluate or give advice? Instead, she asked open and closed probing questions to help Bart express his problem more specifically and then led the discussion to possible solutions. Imagine how this conversation would have gone if Kara had responded differently in the beginning. Bart, I'm not feeling good about my life. Kara, quit feeling sorry for yourself. What a difference one sentence can make. Instead of saying, quit feeling sorry for yourself, Kara chose to ask questions that help Bart express his thoughts and feelings. Just like Kara, your decision to give the gift of asking questions can make all the difference in a conversation and in the relationship. Loaded questions. Loaded questions contain accusations. Although they are structured like questions, often their real intent is to accuse, blame, and judge. They also indirectly force your own opinion and advice on the listener. Here are some examples of loaded questions. Do you still criticize your sister? Does he agree with everything she says? Are you always disgusted with everything I do? Are you going to ace this test like all the rest? How long will this relationship last? Avoid asking loaded questions in your communication with loved ones. If you want to discuss issues that are bothering you with a loved one, you need to be more direct and gentle about raising such topics. Questions as gifts. Questions can be catalysts that bring about changes in a conversation, a relationship, and even a life. Specific questions can help start a conversation and open a deeper level of exchange with your loved ones. These questions can be gifts in your relationships with others. One of the main reasons why we don't ask more questions is that we often don't know what to ask. To help you in this area, here are some questions that you might consider asking your loved ones. What did you dislike about growing up? Who shaped your personality character? What experiences shaped your personality character? What strong beliefs do you hold? How are these beliefs formed? How have these beliefs shaped your present life? How have these beliefs changed over time? What do you like or dislike about yourself? How would you change or modify those things you dislike about yourself? What do you dislike in others? What things do you enjoy least about your current life? What are your goals for the future? What are you thinking? Where did you learn that? How do you feel about our relationship? What have you learned about yourself in our relationship? What can I do to improve our relationship? How do you see our relationship in 5, 10, and 20 years? How can I love you more? How can I be a better friend, spouse, mom, dad, son, daughter, etc.? That's a good question to ask. Might not like the answer, but what activities do we do that you enjoy the most or the least? How can we improve our communication? In what ways do we work cooperatively together? In what ways do we work creatively together? How can we celebrate our relationship? These are just a few questions you might want to use in your conversations with loved ones. You can use these and other questions you think to open you and your loved ones to sharing times that will deepen and strengthen your relationships. You can pose any question that shows your interest in the other person. Questions are gifts that you can give. This is the helps method. Questions that discover solutions. You use a specific method of questioning to help your loved ones explore and find a solution to a problem. This method builds on the gift of listening to others and adds 3 more skills: exploring a problem, brainstorming solutions, and selecting a solution. The steps for accomplishing these skills are summarized in the acronym HELPS. H stands for honor the speaker's thoughts and feelings. E stands for explore the speaker's problem. L stands for list possible solutions. P stands for propose a solution. And S for start the solution. Step 1, honor the speaker's thoughts and feelings. The first step is to accept the speaker's thoughts and feelings about the issue or problem that she is sharing with you. Just as in active listening, you withhold evaluation and judgment. You refrain from fixing, solving, advising, punishing, blaming, accusing, directing, teaching, and so forth. Your first step is to honor or accept the speaker's thoughts and feelings without trying to judge or change. As psychiatrist and author Carl Jung wisely observed, nothing can be changed or improved without first accepting it. Step 2, explore the speaker's problem. The second step is to help the speaker explore her problem. Before the speaker can arrive at a solution, she needs to examine the problem. Most people do not even know where to begin. Often their response is to blame or attack rather than to explore the nature of the problem. You can assist the speaker by asking questions about the problem. Here is a list of questions you might want to ask the speaker. 1. What is the problem? 2. How serious is the problem? 3. Whom does the problem affect? 4. How long has this problem affected you? 5. What are the causes of the problem? 6. What actions or solutions have you attempted? 7. What will happen if this problem is not solved? 8. Do you want to invest energy and effort into solving this problem? Do not feel you have to ask all these questions or pose these questions in any specific order. The important thing is that your questions keep the speaker focused on exploring and examining the problem. Remember to ask probing questions that enable the speaker to develop and gain insight into the problem. Do not get sidetracked by asking questions to satisfy your curiosity. This is the gift of asking questions for the benefit of your loved one. Step 3, list possible solutions. After the problem has been explored to the satisfaction of the speaker, you can have your loved one brainstorm or generate a list of possible solutions to the problem. This is not an easy process because the speaker will initially resist your suggestion that any solution exists to this obviously hopeless situation. But don't be discouraged. Be positive, encouraging, and gentle. Here are 4 hints that will help you in your efforts. 1. No evaluation. Do not evaluate or let your loved one evaluate any solution. This goes against our natural inclination to immediately critique every solution that comes to mind. No, that won't work. No, that's too expensive. And no, that's ridiculous, are just a few common evaluations. 2. Keep a list of the solutions. You should take notes as the speaker generates ideas. This way, the speaker can focus on thinking of possible solutions rather than looking at the ones she has come up with. 3. Encourage quantity. The goal is for the speaker to propose as many solutions as possible. Quantity, not quality, at least not yet. 4. The wilder the better. Get crazy, be silly, and have fun. When you have at least 15 possible solutions, no matter how silly or impossible to implement, summarize the list for the speaker. Combine solutions that can fit together. Add a last solution or two, then continue with the fourth step. Step 4. Propose a solution. Review the list of possible solutions with the speaker. Draw a line through the most ridiculous and impractical solutions as well as any illegal solutions. Circle the remaining solutions. Have the speaker look at the list again and select her top 3 solutions from the circled list. Then draw a line through the circled solutions she did not select. During the remainder of the session, have the speaker discuss the strengths and weaknesses of the top 3 solutions. This is the first time you can have an opinion as you play the role of devil's advocate. As the devil's advocate, you question and raise objections to any solution the speaker seriously considers. Your questions and objections are intended to test the speaker's reasoning and commitment to each solution. After extended discussion of the strengths and weaknesses of the top 3 solutions, the speaker might begin to favor one of them. Ask the speaker if she would be willing to give this particular solution a try. If the answer is no, take a break and then go back to step 1. If the answer is yes, go to step 5. Step 5. Start the solution. In the final step, your loved one begins the solution. Implementing the solution might involve some researching, planning, practicing, and preparing. Take your time as you help the speaker design the implementation of the solution. After starting the solution, occasionally have the speaker evaluate its effectiveness. Is the solution getting the desired results? How is the speaker feeling about the solution? How are the others involved being affected? If the solution is going well, congratulations. If not, you can modify the solution or return to step 1 or step 2 and begin the process again. No matter what happens, the important thing is that you gave the gift of asking questions to help a loved one solve a problem. You provided the framework within which your loved one was able to explore the problem, generate solutions, decide on a solution, and implement that solution. You didn't solve the problem. You helped your loved one solve the problem. There is a world of difference between these 2 processes. Guidelines for asking questions. Asking questions is more than just requesting information from a loved one. It communicates your interest in another person. You are important to me and I want to know more about you. As you give the gift of asking questions, keep in mind these 5 guidelines. Don't overuse questions. Don't use questions to criticize. Not all problems have solutions. Refer serious issues to professionals and ask yourself the same questions. Don't overuse questions. A common mistake my students and clients make after learning to use open and closed probing questions is to ask too many questions. They bombard others with more questions than are necessary, and quite often the recipient of the questions becomes frustrated or angry. Enough already. Be careful not to overwhelm others with too many questions. It is the quality of questions, not the quantity of questions that matters. You are not a reporter, potential employer, or police interrogator. The primary purpose of your questions is to assist your loved ones to clarify, focus, and explore their issues. A few well-structured questions will go a long way in helping your loved ones discover what they are really trying to communicate. Don't use questions to criticize. Be careful not to use questions to blame, accuse, or criticize others. Loaded questions such as, "You really don't love me, do you?" indirectly communicate judgment and tend to initiate or inflame a conflict, not help loved ones explore their problems. Before asking a question, ask yourself, what is the purpose of my question? To criticize or to help a loved one? This simple check will ensure that you enrich a conversation rather than initiate a conflict. Not all problems have solutions. Do not feel discouraged if your loved one doesn't solve the problem. Not all problems will be resolved satisfactorily. Be prepared for the chance that even with all the assistance you give willingly, your loved one's dilemma will remain. What matters is that your loved one received assistance from you in the face of a problem. You can only do your best at helping your loved one explore a problem and brainstorm solutions. The mere fact that you tried to help is a powerful demonstration of your love and support, regardless of the outcome. Refer serious issues to professionals. In instances of serious psychological or emotional illness or distress, refer your loved one to a licensed psychiatrist, psychologist, or counselor. Alcohol or chemical addiction, suicidal tendencies, physical abuse, eating disorders, and sexual abuse are examples of issues you are not trained to handle, no matter how well intentioned your efforts. Always refer serious issues to professionals. Ask yourself the same questions. Occasionally ask yourself the same caring, thought-provoking questions that you pose to your loved ones. Many times we give to others without ever giving to ourselves. The next time you find yourself facing a problem, ask yourself the questions presented in this HELPS, H-E-L-P-S method. You will be surprised at how helpful these questions can be when you are the one answering the same questions you often ask. The gift of asking questions is a very effective way of inviting a loved one to open up, explore, and even solve problems. We all have experienced spending time with someone who talked only about themselves and never once asked us a question. This one-sided way of communication alienates and distances people from one another. By giving the gift of asking questions, your loved ones experience your interest in knowing them, helping them, and connecting with them. By asking the right questions, your loved ones will experience your open heart. One of the most powerful questions I've ever heard is, how can I love you more? Ask this question of a loved one and see where the answer takes you. You may discover some new and important things about your loved one as well as yourself. Give the gift of asking questions. Okay, so here's the exercises for the end. 5.1, personal exploration, exploring your life's questions. Make a list of the 5 most significant questions you can think of at this point in your life, such as, what will make me happy? What is the nature of God? And what kind of person could I spend the rest of my life with? After writing your list, take some time every day to ponder and explore one of these questions. See what comes up. You may be surprised. Exercise 5.2, practice giving, asking questions of others. During the next week, try to ask more open and closed probing questions of your loved ones. Do not spend time creating structured or elaborate questions. Just increase the number of questions you ask those you love. If you are really game, try asking the questions we concluded with. How can I love you more? What are some of the interesting, provocative, and helpful questions you used during your conversation with loved ones? How have these questions influenced or changed your conversation with others? How have these questions affected you and your relationship? And exercise 5.3, practice giving, exploring a loved one's problem. When the situation arises, provide the gift of asking questions to help a loved one explore a problem or dilemma. Use the HELPS method to help him or her find a solution to the problem. What was the process like for your loved one and you? And that is gift number 5. Give the gift of asking questions. I'm almost afraid to ask the question, how can I love you more? Well, you can start by, I don't know. I have been talking with my wife about some of this stuff, though, and it is interesting, and it's very positive, and it's very relationship building, I feel. So that was gift 5, asking questions. And remember, think long and hard about this stuff. Gifts from the heart. See you next chapter.